This is UTEL Concerts. This is UTEL Concerts. This is UTELConcerts.com.
Hey, it's Crystal with UTELConcerts.com. I'm on the phone with Amy LaVere. To get started, just tell us a little bit about how you got into music and kind of describe your style.
Sure. Both my parents were musicians. My dad was a drummer. My mom wrote songs, and I guess I just thought it was something that everybody did, and my mom especially writing songs, and never professionally, but whenever there were people at the house or family over, she'd always bust out the guitar and entertain everyone, and I guess I just wanted to be her and thought that's what the woman did, was cook and play songs. So, as far as the style of music that we play, it's I guess I pull a lot from classic country and jazz and rock and roll.
So your new album, Stranger Me, it came out last year. Is there a theme to that album?
A theme?
Yeah.
Well, I guess, it's definitely it's looking at love in all different ways, for better or worse.
How do you feel this album compares to your previous releases?
Honestly, it was the most fun. And I think, I'd matured a little bit, and I had learned a little bit more about the process of recording. I didn't understand when I recorded my first two records the possibilities of the studio, really, where by the time I got into doing the Stranger Me record, I definitely knew that I was going to have more control and could have more control, and it was my art and my right and duty to do it. And so there was that. And on the first two records, for a good long period of time, I was a bit of a purist as far as recording techniques were concerned and music styles, and I've always sort of had my head stuck in the dirt as far as catching up to modern times with music, and I like vinyl, and but I guess I'd kind of come out of that phase a little bit, so I definitely was having a lot more fun as far as not trying to recreate something that had been done and just.
Yeah, it sounds awesome. So I'm just wondering, how does that translate? Because the recordings are just so great. How does that translate in the live show?
Well, when the money's there, I have a friend named Sean Benford that would fit in with us from time to time. But the guarantees are so low out on the road right now. It seems to get worse and worse. So I've been stripped down right now, actually, to a three-piece band for this Rich Robinson tour, which I still love. I love it. Fortunately, I'm playing with such amazing musicians that we find our way with it.
So we are a concert website, so what I ask all artists is, as an audience member, what is the best concert you've ever been to?
Well, actually, it would be between these two. One was when I first moved to Memphis. It was on the campus of the University of Memphis. I found out in an afternoon that Willie Nelson was doing the surprise show outside on the campus. And I want to say this probably was 99 or maybe 2000. And we rushed over there, and sure enough, it was free, it was outside, it was announced the morning of, and there were maybe 400 people there. And it was the first time I'd seen him, and it was my dad's all-time favorite is Willie Nelson, and I grew up listening to more Willie Nelson than anything else. And so it was a super emotional show. I just remember crying half the afternoon, and he was out there for maybe 2 hours signing every single person's anything, whatever they wanted an autograph on, and I just thought that was amazing. And I've seen him a number of times since. And then otherwise, when we were on tour this last year, we were in Boise, Idaho. Sean, is that where we saw the Flaming Lips, that show? Well, he can't hear me because he's got his headphones on. But I think we were in Boise, Idaho, with nothing to do, and we saw that the Flaming Lips were playing. And I think it was this guy that had a bunch of money and had a big field and built a stage. And gosh, there probably were maybe 2,000 people is all at this huge stage concert of Flaming Lips, and I'd never seen him before. And I'm a fan, and it was just great. Super great show.
Worst concert experience. Now, it doesn't have to be the worst band. It could be
okay.
Something that happened to you or just an experience.
I can tell you, I know exactly what it is. Worst concert experience, it would be the first time I saw Bob Dylan, and I'm a huge Bob Dylan fan, and I've seen him a bunch of times since. If he's anywhere near, I'll go try and catch him. And I love him, especially when he messes up the songs and plays keyboards, and just as strange as he wants to be is my favorite Bob Dylan show. But this particular one was the first time I went to see him, and it was at the Pyramid in Memphis, and it was the Bob Dylan Paul Simon tour, and we had nosebleed seats. We were just basically at the very, very top of the pyramid, and it literally sounded like a fire truck on stage. That's all we could hear because the sound was so bad in there. You couldn't see him, you couldn't hear him, and I anticipated that concert for so long. And then we got to go backstage because I was really good friends with Lamar Sorrento, who's a painter in Memphis who was an acquaintance of Dylan, and we went backstage, and I met Paul Burleson, and I was really excited to meet Bob Dylan because I just was so sure that it was going to happen, and sure enough, he came out into the hall, and he was talking to somebody that I actually knew, and I was just waiting for this break of conversation to walk over in Bob Dylan's direction, and then he walked back towards his dressing room, and I never got to meet him. So It was like this heartache concert where I was in the room with Bob Dylan, but I couldn't understand or hear him or make any sense of the concert whatsoever, and then also got closer to him and didn't get to gush on him. So
what are some of the goals that you have set for the immediate future for 2012?
Well, really, I'm just sort of saying this year's sort of mapped out already, which is it's kind of disappointing and also exciting at the same time. But I love this year, but there's no real surprises as far as I can tell. I've got a film in April. I'm really excited about this tour with Rich Robinson because it's great rooms, and I think that's going to be a really fun trip. May, I'm touring with Luther Dickinson in a band, a side project band that we have together called The Wandering with Shannon McNally, Valerie June, and Sharday Thomas, who's Othar Turner's granddaughter.
Wow.
And that's going to be fun. And then it looks like we're going to be over in Europe for a little bit. But I'm going to go back in the studio, hopefully November, December, and make a new record. So really this year is just, just rolling down the road and writing songs. So as far as goals are concerned, I'm actually meeting them just by doing what I love to do. Absolutely.
Well, cool. Well, thanks so much for taking the time to talk with me. And listeners can check out Amy LaVere at amylavere.com. Thank you so much, Amy. And
Thank you.
Drive safe.
I appreciate it. Have a great day.
All right.